You hear the term cloud a lot these days. I even use it. I refer to cloud backup all the time. So, what does that actually mean? Well, I'm Ron Trotto, TC Computer Consulting, and that happens to be the topic of the evening. What is cloud and what does it mean to a small business? Well, I'm going to let you in on a big secret. If you used to use AOL, CompuServe, AT&T, any of those old obsolete platforms, you were in the cloud. We didn't call it cloud back then. We called it the AOL service, right? We paid our subscription fee and we got our, well, AOL was kind of a special breed because they not only had email service, but they had a chat environment and they had groups and they had a community. So it was something a little bit bigger than just email in the cloud. And now those services are kind of spread amongst different services as they kind of grew up. But you weren't doing it on a server that you owned typically. They were hosted elsewhere. And, well, you really didn't care where they were hosted. You just cared that they were up. Let's fast forward to today. Cloud is, well, things that are hosted by others that you're not really concerned about the hardware or the software platform or the updates or any of the stuff that typically goes into maintaining a server that you keep in your closet. You're just concerned that the service is up. Now, you do still have some concerns about the service. You do have concerns about the uptime. You do have concerns about the security. And in the case of Office 365 and other platforms like it, you can typically have some level of control over the security. And then, of course, backup. You have to keep this stuff backed up. As we know, Office 365 does not by default back up the data. So, how does this impact your small business? And why do you always hear cloud? Well, all of these services I've mentioned are what we kind of operate in typically, and that's a hybrid cloud mode, meaning that we're not pure cloud. Well, what in the world does pure cloud mean? Pure cloud means that everything, every last server that you have in your business is actually hosted in the cloud. And here's another little secret. It's typically more expensive to do that than to maintain on-premise servers. Now, why in the world would you want to do that? Why wouldn't you just keep it on-prem? Well, there are a lot of reasons. Those business continuity plans that we talk about very consistently through this series, the business backup and disaster recovery plans that we talk about. If your business is one of those businesses that needs to have minimal downtime with minimal amount of lost data, cloud's the Betty. Why? Because you can leverage equipment that you could never really afford to have on your on-prem, and the scalability of that and the failover ability and the bandwidth that's behind all this. It would cost a small, even a mid-sized business, a tremendous amount of money to do that on-prem versus in the cloud. So it gives you a lot more capability. And typically when we put stuff in the cloud, it's to overcome a shortcoming that's in their local environment. In our area, the shortcoming is typically bandwidth. So if you have a lot of remote workers and we can't get a fiber line to where you are, or some type of really reliable high bandwidth with some good backup, then it starts to look like we're going to start moving you towards cloud. And we do that through cost benefit analysis. But that's a pure cloud versus hybrid cloud. Office 365 is an absolute gem of an example of our typical hybrid cloud small customer. So I'm hoping that helped define what cloud is. And if you have any questions about it, please do comment or reach out to us. We'll be happy to get back to you. And if you did find the content helpful, please do like and share. And I thank you for your time, and we'll see you again tomorrow.